Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea L. Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Well, good evening and welcome to When Life Speaks. I am your host, Andrea L. Hines, and I am here with my fabulous co-host, Miss Francina Booker. Hey there, Francina. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Wonderful. I tell you what, it is good to be in this place this evening. We've got some exciting things that we're going to talk about and that we are going to share. And I am really hoping that we will get some listeners coming in, because this is one of those things, Francina, that we know we need. It's information that we know we need. A lot of times they're things that we don't understand. And because we don't understand them, we kind of shy away from them. But for those of you who don't know, we have different segments here on When Life Speaks. We have testimonies of triumph, and we have stories of strength. We have the power of one. We keep faith flowing when we have our nights of prayer and things like that. And Francina comes on with Senior Sidebar, and we like to talk about things that are of particular interest to our senior population. But the truth of the matter is, anything that is of importance to seniors now is important to the next generation, for those coming along behind us. Sometimes so that they won't make the same mistakes that we made, so that they'll be better equipped for life's journey. And sometimes it's one of those things where, hey, if you are blessed to live long enough, you're going to face the same kinds of things that we're facing. Hey, good evening, Bernice. Glad to have you this evening. Glad to have you. So tonight we're gonna talk health. We got some health things that we want to talk about tonight, and want to be able to share with you. Hey, Victoria, good evening to you. Welcome to When Life Speaks. And we're going to let me get some not housekeeping, but some announcement kinds of things out of the way. The first thing I want to talk about is April the 29th. April the 29th. And that is going to be the signing and launch of the new book. And I think there will be two. But I'm going to give you all details and information later on. I think, Francina, you're in town for that one, right?
Yes, I am.
April 29th. And I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I always like the opportunity to share his words. And that's what some of these, one is going to be a collection. And then the other one is, I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet, but just know that it's going to be good and you're going to want to have a copy. So put on your calendar April 29th, and then put on your calendar June 10th. June 10th. If you are not in the Raleigh Durham area, June 10th would be a good time to have plan yourself a little getaway and come on to North Carolina so you can be a part of the celebration. It's an event to celebrate my 5 years in broadcasting. So we're going to have a lot of good things, a lot of fun things, a lot of prizes, a lot of surprises. Gonna have some food. We're gonna dance. We're gonna party. We're gonna have a really, really, really good time. And I want you in the house. So that's going to be coming up soon, and there'll be information about tickets and all of that good stuff. No tickets for the book signing, but you will have to have a ticket for the June 10th event. And let me tell you, it's going to be an event to remember. Hear that? Got that, Francine? An event to remember. So I'm excited about it. Needless to say, hey, Linda Cooks, good evening to you. Glad to have you in the house. Oh, thank you, Bernice. Bernice is so kind, and I don't know. You might be able to get here. You never know, Bernice. You never know. Never know what's gonna happen, right? But tonight we're going to talk about. I put it out there and I said, let's talk health. Let's talk health. And there are two things that we really want to put on the table tonight. One has to do with ACS can. ACS can. I always hesitated because I want to call it X can or something. People told me today, no, not what that is. And we want to talk a little bit about Medicaid expansion, which is something that is very, very important that all of us need to know about. Angie, good evening to you. Glad to have you in the house tonight. And Alan, if we have any listeners coming in from our other countries, just put the banner up so we can formally welcome them tonight. But Francina, let's start by uh, tell us a little bit about ACS CAN because that's very important. And I know you have been recognized by that organization for being like volunteer of the year or something like that. You're very, very active with that. For those of you who don't know, Francina is a cancer survivor, and she is very passionate about cancer research and getting things changed and making a difference. So tell us a little bit about that organization, first of all, Francina.
Okay, first of all, ACS CAN stands for American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. And what we are a nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy affiliate of the American Cancer Society.
Mm-hmm.
And we are the voices that speak with our lawmakers on a federal, state, and also local, levels. And what we do is we speak on policies to bring about changes that affect the people and also bring about change to make a difference in the quality of their lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now they have a fundraiser every year, don't they, Francina? I know that. Tell us a little bit about that because one thing that we like to do here is not just to highlight the events or things that are going on, but to also be able to put things out there so you know how you can help. Because each individual, you have a voice, and if you have a voice, there is something that you can do with these organizations. This Cancer Action Network is they call it a grassroots effort. So it is, it is designed to be able to get the average Joe information so that you know how to talk to your lawmakers, what the issues are that are on the table, and how you can help with that. So talk a little bit about that, Francina, because I think there's something coming. I don't know whether is the Cancer Action Network, is that the one that's on the 28th?
Yes.
Okay, go. Tell us
You can talk
tell us
about the
about that.
28th?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what it is a group of people We go down, but we go into Halifax Mall, which is where our lawmakers' offices are in Raleigh, and we all get together and we go to our individual lawmakers that's in our district, and we talk to them about the, well, right now we're talking about trying to get Medicaid expansion in our state. So we got to talk to them, let them know why we feel that Medicaid is necessary. What does Medicaid expansion does? And I'm gonna tell you a little something. It brings affordable health coverage to low income patients, parents and children at home, including thousands of parents with disabilities or special needs. It saves lives because people with health coverage are more likely to get preventive care. They'll
Mm-hmm.
go to see their doctors, get necessary screenings, treatments, and it also helps with medication cost.
Mm.
Because if you notice, a lot of patients, as far as medications, will not take them as prescribed because they're too expensive. So what they'll do is they skip doses or they may change them. So therefore, the medication is not effective.
Mm-hmm.
So having this coverage, it helps fill in the gap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, Francina, is it okay for me to interrupt you right here?
Sure.
Because okay, when you were talking about that, I want to first um, clarify the difference between Medicaid and Medicare, because a lot of times people are not sure which does what. And I think that the main difference is that no, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you. I'm, gonna let, I'm not going to mess that up. Hey, Angie O and Pastor Leah, glad to have you in the house this evening. Welcome to the
Well,
program.
the difference is, first of all, Medicaid is a joint federal and state program that gives health coverage to some people with limited income and resources, and it's based on income.
Okay.
That's Medicaid. Medicare is a federal health insurance for anyone 65 and older,
Okay.
excuse me, and for some people under 65 with disabilities or conditions. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little something about this Medicaid for me, because when I was diagnosed with cancer and I no longer had health coverage and I didn't have any income coming in, I applied for Medicaid. Well, I was denied because they have stipulations. One of them was they wanted my life insurance policy, and they wanted any retirement annuities, because what they want to do is spin down because it's assets. And so because I would not give it to them, I wasn't able to qualify to get it. And see, I never knew that. That was something I learned from me. And so I didn't feel, and I spoke to them and told them I didn't feel that that was right. But that's another thing why we need to talk to our lawmakers, because we need to get some of these stipulations out. We need to be that should not have to matter, because I told them, God forbid if something happened to me, who's gonna pay for who's gonna pay my expenses? My funeral and burial. $255 don't cover, and you have to work at least 10 years in order to get the $255. You don't automatically get it if a spouse passes away. The spouse has to have worked 10 years in order to collect that $255.
Wow. Wow. This Medicaid expansion that you've been talking about and that we've been hearing about, and I want you to go into that a little bit more. But the Medicaid expansion is something that is available in all states except 11. There are only 11 states that do not have Medicaid expansion. And guess what state is one of those 11? You got it. North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Carolina. So it's really, really important to participate in things like this Cancer Action Day coming up, and know what is going on, and know that yes, you can make a difference. Because didn't you just recently get notification that one of the lawmakers had changed their position on this?
Yes, it was one of the state senators. Oh, what's his Bergen, and he been against it for many years, and now he's just coming, and has a lot to do with us, with using our voices and talking to them and telling them why we feel that is necessary for the North Carolinians. There are so many people out here that don't have health coverage, and you look at, for one, cancer rate, even though it's declining over, I say, since 2017, 19, the thing about it is there are a lot of people out here that are walking around with it and don't know it,
Mm,
because they don't have access to screenings. They don't have access to mammograms, and not only we talking about breast, but we talking about cervical. We talk about we talking about prostate. All of that is in connection with why we need it. We talking about saving lives. You know, it's not like we just out here, just
right.
out here just acting, be acting. There's a purpose, there's a reason, and lives matter. All lives matter, and we should have a say so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. What are some of the other things that are covered or would be covered through Medicaid expansion that are not covered now?
Well, again, it brings affordable health care coverage. It also income parents with low income, they have access to it. Look at it like this here. There are some, and they talk about the Affordable Care Act, but there are some that their income may be too high. I mean, maybe too high for Medicaid, but it may be too low for regular coverage. So they're stuck in that gap. So with the Medicaid expansion, that would fill that gap, so that they would be able to have access, to health care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, how long have they been? You may not know, but how long have they been working on this Medicaid expansion?
I'm not quite sure how long. I know I was on the team with Governor Cooper back in 2019, when we was around the round table talking about Medicaid expansion, and it was before then. So I say at least I said maybe close to 10 years
Wow.
that we've been fighting for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And tell us a little bit about what the 28th is going to look like.
Oh, let me tell you about the 28th. Wait a minute now. Let me tell you about the 28th. Oh, wait a minute. Because it would be a blessing if we could have some people, participate in it. Wait a minute. Where's my little paper? About the 28th. Oh, on the 28th, we're all going to meet, like I said, at Halifax Mall, coming together so that we're going to go ahead and talk to the people, talk to our lawmakers, and you don't need really much of an orientation. You come down there and we'll be able to talk, with people, and give them an idea of what we're going to be, and also you'll be with somebody that is familiar with the process, and then you just come along and you listen, and if you got some input, you are more than welcome to speak, because some people may have been affected by this, and so they may have some questions, and
Mhm.
so that would be really good, and then they might be able to tell why they feel North Carolina should be one of the states that take on Medicaid expansion.
Mhm. Now you had an opportunity to do this, to go before the lawmakers and talk to lawmakers about different things having to do with in connection with the American Cancer Society, and you've had a chance to tell your story. What was that experience like for you? Because I think you went to DC, did you not? Yeah.
Couple times, yeah.
Yeah, tell us what that experience was like. But see, because this is a person who was not a public speaker, has not been in government, has not been involved in lobbying or anything like that. And Francina is a cancer survivor. She's passionate about all of this, and I wanted her to kind of tell some of her experience, because a lot of times we don't participate in things because it's out of our comfort zone, because it's outside of our normal whatever, and we have a feeling that I can't do that. I've never been on the Hill, I've never talked with legislators before. What would I have to say? How could I be of any assistance with this? But Francina, I mean, you got out there and you rock and roll with this thing, and tell it what it was like for you to participate.
Remember now, it was the first for me, so I felt all of that, all those feelings. But I had a story to tell, and everybody has a story. It don't have to be a cancer story. It could be some from caregivers who's taking care of someone. My
Hmm.
thing was, and you got to go in there with an open mind, but you also go in there knowing what's in your heart and speak from experience. They don't. I'm gonna be honest with you now. You got some that don't care what you say. They are adamant. They're not in agreement with what you have to say. They'll listen. They will listen, but they'll say, "Well, I need more information, or I need to look further into this, or I don't think that what you're asking for right now meets what they have set out, or I think we can use that money for something different." I mean, you get all kinds of answers. And sometimes, you go out there a little discouraged, but you know that you did your best. But you planting a seed, as I always say, because
Right,
irregardless of what you say, you're going to sit back. It's going to come back to you, and you're going to think on what I have to say. Because I always ask them, I said, everybody, one way or another, has been affected with cancer. You know somebody in your family. I said, and this could be you. So you put them in that. This could be you. And so you want to make sure that you or your family have the necessary funds in order to be able to combat this. So um we don't it's not discriminatory.
right,
Not at
right.
all. It's not discriminatory. And
Hmm.
so we do that, and we have support. We support one another. And so once you get to doing it, then you're like, okay, I can do this. And like I said, it's your experience, your story. Can't nobody tell your story like you.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Alan, if you are around and can put the link up for us, so that people will be able to tap in. If you are wondering what you can do and how you can do it, we're going to put this link up on the screen. There it is, www.fightcancer.org/North Carolina NC/NC. And when you go on that link, you will find something that it's in bold red. It's like the second thing down, and it is talking about 2023 Cancer Action Day. But in addition to that, you can go onto that link, and there's a way for you to sign the petition. Tell us about the petition, Francine.
The petition, what it is what we're doing. We're all coming together, but we're signing the petition for our lawmakers to sign on and go ahead and make Medicaid expansion in our state. And so we're trying to get at least 1,000 signatures because they go back and they look. That's why they ask for your name and because they go back and they want to know who's in their district because those are the people that vote for them. You know, so they
Mhm.
want to see, okay, who's in my district because that also weighs on how they vote. Because they said when I come up for election, you know, if they see that I'm not for it or I'm not voting, I'm voting against it, then they may not vote for me when I go up for my next election. So
Mhm.
they look at those because like I said, when we go down there on the 28th, we're going to meet them face to face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to introduce ourselves so they'll know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that's the purpose of the petition, is to tell them that, because people they deserve quality care.
Mm-hmm.
It.
And it's very simple. I
Mhm.
signed the petition today. You just put your first name, your last name, your zip code, and click, and you're done. So you can make a difference in less than 60 seconds. I mean,
Yes.
it's very easy to do. Let me. I know that you have a list there. Let me ask, because of where some of our listeners are located. Is California a state that has Medicaid expansion? Do you have them?
I'm gonna tell you the ones that don't, because
Okay,
39
that's
states
easy.
have it,
Okay,
but it's
okay.
the 11 that don't is Alabama, Georgia, Kansas, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. And South Dakota, they went ahead and signed November of 2022. So that was a blessing. So those are the 11 that's
That do not
do
have it.
not
So
have.
Georgia does not have it.
Excuse
South
me.
Carolina does not
Nope.
have it. North Carolina does not have it. Um, Let me see if I heard. I didn't hear any other states that we have active listeners in that are on that list. So it means California has it, and the Maryland has it,
Even DC.
DC. Wow, and DC has it. So we really need to. Those of you who are listening, who are in Georgia, who are in South Carolina, here in North Carolina, there are things that you can do. Um, be sure that you go into or go out to fightcancer.org. And I think if you just go into the website in general, you can find links that have to do with your state, or just contact the American Cancer Society, and they can help to direct you to local organizations, grassroots organizations who are doing things in this area. These are important things, and it may not be, we may not get the change today. We may not get the change as we want. But like Francina said, some of this has been out there. We've been fighting for 10 years. It is good to have. It is good to be able to have health care. We need health care. We need affordable health care. We need to have those resources and resources available. So if they are not available to my generation, if we keep fighting, it will be available to the
That's
next
right.
generation.
It
So
is.
that state that just signed, the people who were fighting for the last 8, 9 years or whatever, their kids and their grandkids are going to be able to benefit from that fight. So often we have to be reminded that what I do today is not about me today, and it's not necessarily for me for today, but we have to think beyond our now and
That's right.
understand that the things that we do now have a tremendous effect on the future, have a tremendous effect on the next generation coming up. And we have to, as they say, gotta be attentive. You gotta pay attention, and you gotta be aware of what's going on. Are the numbers growing, Francina? Do you know, or do you think, or can you
Growing for what?
for people who are involved in the Cancer Action Network?
Oh, it's growing. It's growing because people want to know. People are getting involved because, like you said, maybe not for them, but for what comes after them. And so we keep fighting. And that's another thing I want everybody to know. We got to keep fighting. We can't stop because we don't see progress right now. We got to keep pushing. We
Mm-hmm.
got to keep pressing because I believe eventually we will win.
Yeah.
We will get what we want, but we got to do it together.
Mm-hmm.
It takes us coming together to do it. But I want to say something about this here. What happened? Why is Medicaid expansion important? Not only about increased health care, but let me tell you what happens.
Francina, let me stop you for just a minute. If any of you online who are listening tonight have a question about anything that Francine is discussing this evening or that we're talking about that has to do with Cancer Action Network or Medicaid expansion, please, please put that question in the comment section. If we cannot answer it right now, we will be sure to get an answer for you and get that answer to you. So if you don't put it in the comments right here, right now, send it to me at speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. That's speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com so we can get your questions answered. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Francis,
It's okay.
but I wanted
I
to
wanted to say another thing about expanding Medicaid. It would also bring North Carolina federal tax dollars back home rather than support health care in other states. And
mm,
that's what's happening. Now, every month that North Carolina doesn't expand Medicaid, we lose out on $500 million in federal fundings every month. Because what we do, our money is going to helping other states. Our money needs to stay here, right here in North Carolina.
wow, wow, 500 million a month. That's amazing to me.
And that's
And
why I don't understand why it's such a problem. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna read a little something because I want to look at why some of the states, you know, refuse to sign up. And they said, and this is what they wrote: they have witnessed soaring costs in other states and the adverse impact on the vulnerable patients already on Medicaid who must compete for providers with expansion enrollees and also the lack of requirement. Because
mm,
they're saying, because they at one time they were saying, I think it's even for Medicaid, they was trying to start up something where you have to work in order to receive benefits. And they feel that with Medicaid expansion, people are going to feel that they don't have to. They don't have to work. They can automatically just have it. But
people want to be able to work, and if they're sick, they can't work. I mean, I don't get that.
and I understand there are going to be some people that want to get it because they can and don't want to get out there and work. But what about those with families that are working, but they don't meet the criteria to be able to afford regular health insurance or health coverage, whereas this will help them?
Mm,
You
mm,
got families out there. You got children that are going through some different challenges, illnesses, sicknesses that need it.
mm-hmm,
And then that's when you come with the the Medicaid, who's eligible for Medicaid and what the stipulations are. And I'm telling you, it's something else. How to qualify for Medicaid I'm not in agreement with it, but I'm just a voice. I'm just a voice.
but that's the thing. You're just a voice, but every voice matters.
That's right. Every year.
Every voice matters, and we have to take the position to keep pushing, to keep trying, to keep getting connected to these various organizations, and we just have to be better informed. I mean, we just have to. We can no longer kind of sit back and leave it up to us, them and they, and why don't they do something? And,
Yeah.
I can't, okay, I can't get off on the 28th. I can't get there on the
And
28th. I
that's
can't be
okay.
a part of that, but I can sign a petition.
You sure can.
I can
Yes,
sign the
indeed.
petition, and I can. There are, for those who are AARP recipients. They are constantly sending things to you to let you know what you need to be fighting for. The things, the issues, and the policies and the programs that affect you. So there's are ways to get information that you may not have right now so that you can be better informed. And when election time comes around, We always sit and say, I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I don't know what they stand for. It's difficult for me to vote because I don't know their posture on certain things. Well, this is one way to get to know uh, the legislators and the lawmakers and what they are interested in, what they are saying about different things, and how these various laws are tied together, because you may be thinking of one thing, but that one thing that you may be in favor of, that particular individual may be against so many other things that are vital to your health and well-being. So we really need to take some time through programs like When Life Speaks and grassroots organizations to become better informed, to know a little bit more about the things that are affecting us. And healthcare is something that is of just extreme importance to each of us and to all of us. Cancer, yeah, affects a lot of people, affects people who are listening. Francina is a cancer survivor. I am a cervical cancer survivor. And it's like she said, it's something that is touching more people than we know about, more people than we realize. But we can all do something. We always say, I want to be a blessing. I want to make a difference. I want to be part of the change. Well, here's an opportunity. Here's an
Yes, sis.
opportunity for you to do exactly that. And it's a good opportunity, good organization, and good information. Francina, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention tonight, because we
Yes.
really, it is a chance for us to do something and for our voices to be heard. And I hope, listeners, that you found out some information that you may not have known before. And we need to be well informed on things that are happening around us. Is there anything in particular, Francina, that you want to leave our listeners with? It may just be a word of hope and encouragement, or whatever it is that you want to say tonight.
Well, first of all, I do want to talk about the fundraisers that goes along with
Oh
our
yeah, awesome.
the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, and which is called Lights of Hope. And that's where we come together. We ask for donations, and we were doing Lights of Hope bags, but I think they kind of doing away with it for 2023. But it's just to donate to the fundraiser, and it's in reference to cancer survivors, caregivers, those that are still in treatment, as well as those who are no longer with us, so that we can have a platform for others who may be going through. We help with transportation. We help with co-pays. We also help with treatments. We you may not have access to. So donation. This is what the money goes towards. And
Mhm.
I believe, like I said, it's widespread, and it's necessary. I mean, the money is used for a good purpose, and I believe everybody benefits from it. Like I said, whether it's you, your family, you don't know what's happening, but you want to know that your family have access to these different programs, screenings, treatments. Nobody wants to be denied, and that's something that we don't want anybody to have to worry about. When you go through treatment, you don't need to be stressing and worrying about how you're going to pay for this, or
Right.
you know, do I have to make a choice between getting my medication, buying food? Those are things that need to be on the back burner. We need to be concentrating and worrying about getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is just in general, all of us, let's just come together in unity, and just do what we need to do that can make a difference, not only in our life, but in the life of those connected to us, as well as those who you might come in contact with. You never know when you're on the street. I do. I don't care. And I always ask people, um, I don't like to invade, but I'm always in the grocery store, the doctor's office. I don't care, in the gym, wherever. I'm always asking women on the telephone when I make phone calls if I could ask them a personal question. And when they say yes, I go right in. So I
Yes, you
want to bring
do.
about. education. I want to bring about awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and I want people to know we need to share our story. We need to stop the silence. That's what I want to leave with y'all. Stop the silence. Don't be ashamed because you don't know your story and your journey could help somebody out there that may not, know what to do or may be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your story, honey. Your story does make a difference. Believe me, whether you see it or not, it does. Your story makes it different and it does have an impact.
Yes, yes, those are good words, Francina. And I encourage anybody who's listening, anybody who will go back and hear this program at a later time. Um, you may not know what to do, and you may not know where to go, but you know you need help. And I am saying to you through this platform, When Life Speaks, Speak Life with Andrea at gmail.com. Reach out, reach out. We may not have the answer, but we may be able to get you to the resource. If you don't want to reach out here, if you are in a church that has a health ministry or a wellness ministry, or you are a part of a local organization um, that can get information to people, there's a way to have free mammograms. There are organizations that will help you with rides to doctor's appointments and things like that, but people will not always offer if they don't know your story, if they don't know the help that you need. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask somebody, this is going on or that's going on, and I don't know where to turn. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do. And there are resources there. That's my message of hope and encouragement tonight. There are resources there. There are people who are willing to help you, and there's so many things that we just don't know about. So don't be silent. Let somebody know that you need help. And if you want more information, either on the Cancer Action Network or more information about the 28th in particular, or how to get your ride, or how to get your mammogram, or information where if you want to keep up with what's going on with cancer research or Medicaid expansion or whatnot, let us know. And we'll be sure to make sure that you tap into the right resource. Francina.
And they could also, I'm on Facebook. So if anybody want to hit me up on Facebook, I'll be more than glad to help out, give information, to do whatever I can to help you on your journey, answer questions, whatever. So I'm on Facebook, Francina Booker.
And for those of you who are in states that do not yet have Medicaid expansion and you want to find out, where to go in your state or what to happen, hey, we'll help you out. The Cancer Action Network would be happy to put you in touch with or let you know where you can go in your area to get more information or to be able to play a more active role if that's your desire to do. So that is it for us for tonight. We have talked health a little bit tonight,
Yes,
and I
we
sure
did.
appreciate it. Thank you so much, Francina, for being with us tonight. We have been having some challenges getting our senior sidebar section going, but looks like we have made it to actually figure out what we needed to change and adjust, and it's all good. And I thank you so much, Francina, for being as passionate as you are, for being as compassionate as you are, and for just continuing this fight, because it is a fight, but it's one that we can all participate in for the win. We're in it
Yes,
to win it. And
yes.
I appreciate those of you who have come on the line, who have listened. I hope that it has been informative for you. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much, Francina, for gathering the information and for sharing your story. We sincerely appreciate it. And let's see, I've given you
Thank
all the
you.
information that I needed to give you. Come back next week. Next week, we're going to, well, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to talk about next week until everything is laid out. But you want to come back. You want to come back because it's going to be a good show next week. And this is where you come Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., where you can turn down the volume of life for just a little bit. Get you some good information. Find out what's going on around you. And just sit back, relax a little bit, take it all in, be poured into. Because you know what? When you do that and life speaks, you too can speak life.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody, for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
everybody. Good night.
God bless.